officially established in 1870 with the county commissioner in existence since 1935. Precinct 3 Commissioner Crystal Domney was elected and sworn into office January 2nd, 2025, making her the first ever female commissioner for our county. She is a leader who has dedicated her time, energy, and vision to serving our community with integrity and heart. She leads not only with policy, but with compassion, collaboration, and a deep commitment to making our county a place where opportunity thrives for all. She is a true example of public service in action. And I'd like to introduce Crystal Domney. I'm crying. You're going to talk to me.
Now that she has me crying. Judy, I think Mr. Betty Hayes and Mr. Hayes would be.
Oh, I follow that.
I know that most of y'all wanted to kind of get an idea of what county business we do as commissioners, but I also know a lot of y'all are interested in what's going on with the subdivisions. This is something I'm pretty familiar with due to the fact I'm getting hammered in Precinct 3 first. San Jacinto Television is here with Ray McCobbin, who has been a long anything I can't find, he can.
Make sure, Jay, as we want to say, if y'all don't know about Mr. McCobbin, he records every county and city meeting. It's very valuable.
And it is
watching it.
ESD as well.
ESD as well.
And he was a previous commissioner for Precinct 1, so he's a really good asset to me. So, with that being said, we kind of, ever since I took in office, there's a lot of land that's been purchased, especially in Precinct 3, so I was super concerned about a Colony Ridge type thing, and I have seen them commissioners sit up there and get hammered over the years, and I am not even like that, so I really work hard. There was a House bill that was presented that moved over to the Senate. Once that happened, then it got signed off by Greg Abbott at that time. So once that happened, it kind of gave Colony Ridge the opportunity to be a city within a city. So they kind of had their own rules and regulations, so their roads didn't have to match up with Liberty County standards. Their sewage, their drainage, everything. So it was just a free fall. And they don't even have to have school zone like limits or flashing caution lights. None of that has to be done there because they're kind of they place their own board, they're their own boss. They make their own decisions. So they kind of caught Liberty County off guard. So I have been in contact. Ray and I both have been kind of investigating. He's better than I am. His wife actually found some stuff that really scared me. So I've been working with Janice Holt and her chief of staff, amazing Hannah. They have assured me that if one of these type things approach her desk, it will never make it to the Senate. So I slept last night for the first time in a while. So that's too bad. Working really hard. We also have a development that's got 60,000 acres purchased with all throughout the precincts in San Jacinto County. That was another scary thing. So Ray was on that for us, making sure we were taken care of. He found, or his wife found something that was going on in Florida, and it is called a Blue Ribbon Project. And what it does is, if they have over 10,000 acres, then they can develop basically a city within a city also. And when they do that, although there was going to be a higher end type thing, it's a 60-40, so you got your environmental, your pasture around it, you have trees planted, you know, and then the city's in the middle. So on that, they want to basically have walking streets, walk to your coffee shop, and all this sounded great, and I was like, thank God, high end, everybody's going to be good. But then when they found the Blue Ribbon deal, if you start researching that, in the worst part about it is the tax abatement, which Ray obviously it was on that also. So it's a 1-for-1. So it would maybe be 50 plus years they pay themselves back before the taxpayers around our area start reaping the benefits of the revenue. would be devastating with 60,000 acres, especially with national forests all around us also taking up a lot of our tax revenues. So basically, again, she assured me they are not on it up there with her, and she will not pass that over her desk, and I believe her. So we have a development coming up, Foster Creek Ranch right now. Most everybody's having to do their own water because we are not able to handle the water. The bakers they're at their level. They can't take no more. Sheco is asking us to slow down on the development. We can't. We have only a certain amount of time to run it through the court, and that's that. The Foster Creek Ranch is 15 sections. It's on 38-1. It's 15 sections. 230-something lots each section. So it's going to be pretty big. They have roads all in there. White Toe Ranch at Evergreen, off of 150. It is going to be a private subdivision. I was able to get it passed through court that we were not accepting the roads, so most of them are going to have to do private subdivisions. And I know that sounds mean because they are taxpayers also, but I can't ask the people driving up and down Red Rock roads to be on the back burner so we can take care of the Highland subdivisions. So their POAs are probably going to have to pick up that. I just can't do it. The people that are here right now deserve better, and we're not going to do that. So once we get the revenue, I will be glad to take roads. But until my people that put me here are taking care of, we're not doing it. So, anybody got any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When these people come in, does anyone of their group, because I know somebody who's a developer around Congo, they go in and meet with the people in the county, meaning the judge, the school superintendent, people like that, work with them. These people work with.
They have been, and they've been presenting a beautiful scenario, and it is beautiful. But at the same time, with the tax amendment, that I can't live with that. So that's not going to work for us. We're going to have to figure something out there. We're not going to be able to do that. But they are going to have their own schools. So I know the school district is saying Darlis Grove coming. A very large percentage of that is going to be going to Willis School District. And this city within a city, they will have their own schools. They will not be going to the school. So between that and this mountain.
Where are you talking about this particular subdivision?
There is strategically throughout the whole county. So they have 68,000 acres, and I think there's 19,000 in mind, 11. There's a large amount in every precinct.
So you're saying each one of them will have their town within a tax?
This is the same developer for all 60,000 acres.
My second question to that then is, what about the law? What are the civil laws that pertain to the rest of us that they don't come in with Sharia laws and other kind of laws?
I don't know on that. All I do know is that we are not going to be embracing something like that. I know that they passed Ray also hooked me up with this, but I did a little research on it. It's the SB 17, and after September 2025, they no longer can buy property here from Iraq, North Korea, Russia, or China. So, but prior to that, unless it's by a naval base or base or something like that, we have nothing on that either. So,
Yes, ma'am. I heard. Actually, I read the Texas scorecard that Trey Harris, the guy responsible for Colony Ridge, he lost a lawsuit.
this is his second.
And he's not allowed to do a whole lot of things now.
No.
And he has to pay a whole lot of money now.
68 million. 68
And that money, somebody's going to be going out of the office in 3 years. But on the first one, the first lawsuit that they won, that was basically Deceptive Practices. And why we didn't include Mexico in that list, I don't know. Because people are selling land in my precinct off of Facebook to not English speakers.
Yeah.
And I'm really struggling having to help them get together. but they should have probably put that there, and I did tell Janice that also help us. But the first one was deceptive selling practices, real estate selling practices, and basically they were selling them stuff in English writing to non-English speakers, and then they were putting a really high down payment on it, and then high interest rates, plus some of them were getting the property, and then once they got there, they couldn't get power to it without spending a fortune, so they couldn't afford to get the power. So then they bought this land they're so happy to have, and they lose it, so it was having a really big turnover rate. Ray, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add that you found? You good?
Not particularly, I think.
For me, I know it's a lot, and it's a lot to, go through, but I want our county taken care of. I can't sleep if we do it right.
I have a question about the, and I know I'm in a group that, we don't like a lot of laws. That's the conservative bent. But we also don't like being run over. There are certain counties have to have a certain population before they can pass county law. Is that what's preventing us from passing county laws?
Basically what they're trying to, we got laws, we have super good rules and regulations. Our subdivision rules and regulations, I took every surrounding county and laid them out. I went through ours and the previous administration and all the previous court, they were good, and they had redone them due to Colony Ridge. So they knew they were trying to protect us. I have to give them a lot of credit for that, because when I ran, we're way ahead of Polk County, and we're actually up there with Montgomery County. And I've also been kind of leaning on them a little bit. Robert Walker joins us on 3081, and he has been so helpful. All his team have given me their cards. So they have a media guy, and they have an engineer, then they have their subdivision development, their finance. Everybody does their own job. Like here, all commissioners are basically, you're doing your own job, so you got to learn. But they all give me their card, their information, and they answer questions all the time. They're also helping me with the giant building that's in between us. They got the money. So we're working on interlocal. It's working really well with him. He's a good guy.
Good deal.
So this new $65,000 acre area, are all the commissioners working as hard as you towards this, or are they aware of what's happening?
They are aware, because I emailed them very frequently. Yeah, I'm into it. And then today, because this week has been super stressful, and I've been hammering on it. So if I don't have a massive heart attack, everything's got to be good for this county. No, I'm fine. I'm tough.
So I just want to make sure I understand correctly. So there's 60 plus acres. That's diverse between all the precincts. That's not even just
each
one.
precinct has it. They're talking about doing the industrial end of it in Shepherd area, and the reason they're doing that is because they said these people that move here are going to need a place to work. The developers are super nice people. They came in. They've been very transparent. That other than the abatement, they've been telling us how nice everything was, and that hasn't happened. So all I can tell you is that just gives us a heads up to make sure that we're on top of them in Austin, and we're like, no way can we have this. It will break us. The Texas Association of Counties lobbying group, they are working really hard for stuff like this, because the states want to take the power from the local government, which I would much rather somebody else be going through these sleepless nights, but I think it would benefit them financially more, and they wouldn't see what it was doing to us here locally. So we really need to keep it local. Yes, ma'am.
What happens with our law enforcement and medical ambulances? I mean, do these cities within cities have their own?
It would affect ours, because we would be having to keep the sheriff's office still up and rolling, and all the more people, the fire department,
So are we increasing that?
Not without inflation. But it's a ways out, and we're working on it. We'll have a plan. I don't want to compromise. I'm working really hard. And I pulled in some resources.
Follow up to the comment about the developers that have their own schools within their area. What sort of oversight? Is that still falling under the State Board of Education? And What is it?
I honestly, they're very, the school districts are kind of like a private deal there. I'm assuming they can still have to go through the state. I don't know on that. I do know that they are supposed to be like really high-end private schools that want their kids very.
So you're talking private schools, you're not talking public schools.
Just inside their city would be going.
So they would opt out to go to public schools if they chose to, because they would have to pay for private schools.
Well, they're probably going to be taxing them there as well on the inside, just like the city does here.
Well, they're charged tuition. But they have the option, if they build in there and they live in there, they would have the option to not attend those schools and to come into our public schools.
I don't know. Yeah, we will ask, the more questions, the more I'll be able to ask, will be with us.
There's many questions, right? Yeah, we're not
Roads and stuff like that, I really didn't touch base on any of that. We have a grant going on Lee Turner that has been horrible. There's some private subdivisions that, like Trolls, that's got really, really bad roads. If I keep people from going to jail before I leave office, I would really like to help them. They are taxpayers, and it is a nightmare. It is horrible. Law enforcement can't get there. So I have been kind of researching that too and asking for help and also on that. It's not okay. Yes, ma'am.
We're working with people to get some assistance for that. Have we got other people to work with her? Because it's gonna take more than her.
It can't get past her desk. If she has to bring the House bill to the Senate. If it doesn't get past her, we're sitting pretty good right there. And she said it will not, and they're sending me everything that they're getting approached now. We're communicating and trying to work with her. And she didn't have an opponent, so we know she's at least there for a long time. So that made me feel better too.
Just because they come in here and they have this private subdivision, that does not exempt them from county and school taxes and state taxes, and they still have to pay those, right?
The surrounding part of the city and the houses inside will somewhat have to pay some taxes, but what they will have to pay themselves back before we start benefiting from it, is what I understand. So they'll pay themselves back for all the development, their roads, their infrastructure, and then I guess that's how it goes. But as of right now, it won't be able to get past this. That's where we went so far. Ready? Anything I missed that you think, Stephen?
The Texas legislature hasn't written anything and hadn't passed anything as far as the blue ribbon thing. The blue ribbon thing is in Florida, and even the Florida legislature is in a big tussle about it because their association of counties is against it. A lot of the representatives and stuff are against it. You can track. It's House Bill 299 and Senate Bill 254 in Florida. You can track it. They're in session right now. They meet. Their legislative session meets on the even years. Our legislature meets on the odd years. There's nothing been written in stone right now. We need to go to Austin and lobby to say, no, don't write this bill even.
So our Texas Association of Counties lobbyists and stuff will be at our school next week, and I can assure you our board will be discussing some of that stuff with them while we're there. We've already talked about that.
And they're gonna probably have their lobbyists go there as well.
Not in the school, that guy. They will, and she said so far they have not approached. And the only reason we were concerned with the Florida ribbon too is because they already have approached us with the 60-40. The 40% city and the outside being 60% like nature They've been very nice. They're planting wildflowers down the side of the state highways, the national forest roads, our roads. They've been great. But this scares me, and I just want everybody to know that I'm not just sitting here and eating bonbons and not worried about it. Very concerned.
The subdivision trail ends, is it the site developed for the Dean Colony Ridge that did trails in your nose?
But he did have them throughout the state.
Oh, okay.
So it is a problem.
There's a whole tassel full of subdivisions in San Jacinto County that failed, and say it failed, and the developers didn't do what they said they were going to do. Even in precinct 1, I can name Wildbird, Huntsman Creek, and I can name half a dozen. And there's one called Lake Livingston, Lake Livingston, something like that. Anyway, yeah, and I can name half a dozen different subdivisions.
Now that I know what you know, because I heard last year you did really something really good, so I would really like a little input from you on that too, because I'm on this, and I'll need all the help I can get on that.
So what do the rest of us do to help?
If it starts coming this way, I don't care if we have to take care of it. But honestly,
You can do is go to Commissioner's Court, or at least watch it.
watch it on radio.
You go on YouTube, go on your
He got
internet.
some cards.
Yeah.
He got
Red stuff, don't type in that web address and it'll come up in your computer. If you can't go.
And anytime, I keep this stuff laid out on my Facebook. Anytime you want to look at development, my budget, I keep it on the table. Any questions you have is right there. I'll answer anything I can. If I can't, I'll figure it out or research what you do.
So the best resources for us to get factual information instead of garbage.
Yeah.
Is what?
Like she said, Commissioner's Court, every bit of this has to come through before it goes any further. It has to pass through us or get denied the rest. And like I said, you can check with your commissioners, the judge. We're all discussing this right now, so we're on it.
All the cities as well.
Yeah, and we can put the link on the Facebook page for the commissioners' court. So if you're not on the Women's League Facebook page that we have, please let me know if you how to connect to it or how to look for it. And if we follow, and we'll put the link up there and you'll be able to put on it.
It's good to keep up with us too. I know we're boring and we talk about stuff that got going on. It really does matter, and you can ask them. They're there pretty regular.
There's nothing boring about it.
You're right. Anyway, it's been amazing. I've had a really good year.
So Ray's recording this today. Is this something we can do?
Yes.
Yes. You don't have to and what
He will give you a card and it's got a YouTube link on there. You can find it. It's really easy. I'll watch them sometimes because I'll forget what we decide on something because I type it into my agenda to save, and I'll sometimes not just back to where we were on that discussion.
And what can you tell us about this development? Sorry, I didn't raise my hand.
Just they've got a lot of money apparently here. He's New York. They're from New York, and I'm assuming they're some kind of big investor. Greg Alexander.
I'll tell you, I've done some research, and Greg Alexander has a piece of property in San Jacinto County, and I call it the plausible deniability property. That he can say, well, yeah, I have property in San Jacinto County. It's in, Alexander Land Management or something out in Georgia.
Well, a lot of the others are under the LLCs. So some of them are like the Distant LLCs, some of them are Center Ranch, Woodlands Ranch, or just different LLCs. So I'm hoping it is high end if it's coming because it is their property. They bought the property. So in some way you can't tell them. And they don't, as far as our control, basically they place their own license. Yeah, basically we need to make sure Janice stays on board and keeps it from being allowed to do, because the mud and all that has to go through.
A lot of people are selling out to lucrative.
Yeah, very cases. The one on Bill Hill's, and right now they're just basically cow pasture on being dug and stuff like that. Keeping ag exemptions and stuff still standing and timber exemptions until they replace the project. It'll be, I think it'll be at least 4 years out, I think. But it's not true.
You know, she asked, what can we do? When it's time to go to Austin, get on the bus.
Yeah.
Because they do look at that. And
Yeah.
buses going to Austin make the news.
And
I've been on a few buses in my life.
it really matters.
Show all of them.
Sure do. Nobody don't want to hear that, but primaries are just as important as the main collection. We got to get this going. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know with these cities within a city, and they have people that supposedly they can't sell property to. But what you see happening, and you can look at Houston, you can look at other areas, even though these people have a lot of money, they can buy a property, and little by little, because of their influence and the amount of money they have, they start influencing other things. And you see they have ideas. And little by little, those ideas start seeping out into your community.
But that starts with us, your leadership in your county.
Mm-hmm.
We can't sell it out, and it starts with y'all too, to not let it happen. And we gotta all stand up for each other. We gotta keep our county like it is the best we can. It's growing, we can't stop it. But we can speak up for it.
And attitude, be prepared to deal with it, have plans for the future. If we just say, well, we know it's coming, and yeah, we're concerned, but we don't have a plan, that's not a good thing. Because somebody
It's hard because the revenue is not here yet.
Exactly.
That's what's rough for us. We want to get ahead of it, but we also don't want to tax everybody out of it.
Can I just say one time? I know specific instances that some of these people and some of these families come in and they'll say, I buy 30 homes within this community. And they have the money to do it. And like I say, money talks, and little by little.
It's already been happening. There's big places. So, like she said, my husband and I argue constantly over government overreach because I'm a rule follower. I don't break the rules, and I'm like, this is cool. That's my problem. I can do it, so I want to. I'm going to do it. So we go round and round a little bit on that. But he says he married his conscience. Well, that was good.